We spent $350,000 on this ad account and turned that into $4.2 million in cash collected and took this business from $20,000 per month to over $400,000 per month within a 12-month period. And that case study is linked below. The full breakdown, I go in extreme detail if you want to see that. We also helped take Nick's Video Business Academy offer go from zero to $250,000 per month, profitably run that offer with a 50% client success rate and a 30% client resell rate. With a client LTV that started at just $5,000, we were able to get that LTV up to over $50,000 while increasing client results and profit. And even more recently, we helped Ben Kelly add over 7 figures in cash collected within 8 months while streamlining the back end operations of his offer. Because he was already doing multiple 6 figures a month, we were able to come in there, analyze everything that was going on the back end, analyze all the bottlenecks, lean out the team, fix the onboarding, fix fulfillment, and get the offer ready to scale while adding upsells, resells, and just strengthening that back-end infrastructure to help it get to over $1 million a month while actually having higher profit margins. And the simple truth is, to get results and outcomes like this, we can't just solve one small isolated problem inside of those businesses that I just showed you or your business for that matter. We actually need to become fully integrated and embedded inside the front and back end of the daily operations to drive meaningful growth, not just fixing an ad account or fixing some messaging or fixing client onboarding, being fully stacked and integrated on the front end and back ends. And if you want to see in extreme detail what I mean by that, I have a 32-minute video breakdown that goes through all of that in extreme detail. And the mechanism at a high level with which we use to solve and grow and scale businesses profitably, we call it our client acquisition to ascension engine, where we are identifying all the bottlenecks in a business, solving them in real time, and growing that business profitably long-term as partners for the business. And what we do for our partners on the front end to solve every bottleneck that could possibly be there is using our video production and editing team to create new ads and new ad concepts for you every single month. So with the Andromeda update and everything, you know how important creative production, messaging, testing, collecting sales assets, plugging those into marketing, you know how important all of that is for finding success. We will literally create new ads for you every single month. We will manage your ad account. We will rework your messaging to ensure it's bringing in quality people if that's a bottleneck, because we literally just brought on a partner who they were trying to attract a certain type of person, but their messaging was attracting the exact type of person that was the opposite of what their ideal customer profile would be. So reworking the messaging throughout everything that you're doing in ads, VSL, automations, the emails, SMS, that's likely a part of what we would need to do. Scripting and helping you create new VSLs, reworking your funnels, your landing pages, getting deeply built inside of the CRM as well, because I can't tell you the amount of CRMs I get in there. And of course, we're trying to make the front end client acquisition process as profitable as possible. And the CRM is just completely broken and scrambled. And we have a full way to optimize that on the front end, from the new lead opt-in sequences, the new appointment sequences, the way we structure the pipelines, the way we structure the data reporting, the way we collect all the data, the way we feed that data back to the pixel, the way we integrate with the closers and setters and make sure that that's all running smoothly. So I can't tell you the amount of automations and CRM systems that most people are just running completely shit, to be honest with you. So we have to get deep inside of that CRM to make sure everything's running properly. And that includes these show rate and close rate sequences to, once again, there's just so much that you can do with your front end and your back end to increase your show rates and close rates. So we're trying to remove that variable as much as possible by directly controlling that ourselves. Sales asset creation. So you've probably heard of sales assets, case studies, testimonials, FAQ videos, hot topic discussion videos around your offer and the claims of your offer and transformations on your offer. There's a ton of that we need to build out, which once again is going to increase our show rates, our close rates, lower our cost to acquire customers. Full funnel data tracking. So full funnel data tracking, a lot of people on the front end, they're not collecting the right type of data and optimizing for that data. So we can actually see what is our real bottleneck. What's the easiest number to double or cut in half that would increase the profitability, lower cost per acquisition. We need to have full funnel data tracking from marketing, advertising, what's going on in the CRM, what's going on in the sales calls, what the closers and setters are doing, everything along those lines. We might even need to completely rework the offers on the front end, because if we work with a client that their LTV is under $10,000, then it's nearly impossible to scale that offer. But we can take offers that their LTV is 10, 12, 15,000 and help get that to 20, 30 to 50,000. We rework that whole backend infrastructure to have way more upsells, resells, and ascend our clients. We're actually able to pay way more to acquire clients, be way more competitive in the marketplace, and not even need to have like this insanely low cost to acquire a customer. Really, I hope you're seeing that we will be doing whatever is required to grow business on the front end to solve all those bottlenecks. And the same goes for the back end, whether that's restructuring your fulfillment process, restructuring your onboarding, restructuring how you're managing and speaking with and communicating with your clients, helping redesign the customer journey so that they achieve the goal transformation in as little time as possible, and then helping them with the next step and ascending them ongoing. Whether that's restructuring contracts and client expectations. Sometimes people are running crazy guarantees, and we can literally remove the guarantee, track it on a 3-week trend, and we didn't even lose any sales. So people have all these crazy guarantees they don't even need a lot of the time. We can add back end data tracking. So many people are so obsessed with this front end, lowering cost per acquisition, running all these marketing strategies, advertising strategies, trying VSLs, webinars, challenge funnels, like doing all of this crazy stuff to lower their cost to acquire customers as much as possible. When a lot of times what's really required to profitably grow the offer and grow it in a stress-free process is to add back-end data tracking, focusing on client success, client LTV, client social proof and transformation collection, adding upsells, resells, downsells, all focused on maximizing that client LTV. At the same time, leaning out ops teams at scale. A lot of people think, oh, well, if I'm going to scale my offer, I have to add all of these employees and do all of these things, and it's going to crush my margins. But if we restructure your backend, you'll actually be able to grow further faster with less people than you think, especially if we're fully involved. We can also fully improve and manage the operations that's going on inside of the business, because a lot of people are doing things that could be automated, things that could be integrated with AI, things that they just don't need to be doing, period. We call it our performance-based fulfillment system, where a lot of people are just running their front end, thinking about performance basis, and they're tracking all this stuff. But we install that same level of attention to detail to the back end to ensure that, hey, as we increase our ad spend or as we increase our throughputs, this back end system is going to be able to get great client results, and it's going to be able to scale. And we're not just going to scale and burn down this offer, if you know what I mean. Now, what does this really do for our partners? Well, it unlocks profits at scale. A lot of people, when they're scaling, the profits get absolutely crushed. We have no intention of scaling an offer if the profits are just going to, not even be worth it at that point, where we could just run $100,000 to $200,000 a month business relatively stress-free with higher profit margins. We are trying to unlock profits at scale. We're also solving every bottleneck for our partners that are limiting growth. So we're not just running an ad account, or, hey, let's make some creatives, or let's rewrite a VSL, these people selling one-off solutions. We are really becoming a full stack partner that's able to limit any bottleneck that's holding us back from scaling and growing profitably. We help our partners get a lower to cost to acquire a customer and a higher LTV. This puts less stress and reliance on the founder. If you've read these books about businesses, the more dependent the business is on you, the less valuable your business is. And by us getting fully integrated, we don't need to fully remove the founder or remove you from what you're doing, but we can remove you from a lot of the things you hate to do and run better systems than you could have came up with or ran yourself. This is also going to result in having a much leaner team than you might already have or might think that you need. Higher level operators are going to be removing you from the front end or back end, so you as the founder can do what you really love. And really the biggest thing that we help our partners do is make fewer mistakes following a proven roadmap. We have scaled businesses past multiple six figures a month to over $1 million a month. We've built the operational systems. We built all the front end systems so you can go further faster with higher margins and fewer mistakes along the way. And why do we do this? Why do we become so obsessed that we are fully integrating and only working with a limited number of partners? If we're genuinely trying to grow and scale a business profitably, trying to take that plane off, there is so much that's required to make the plane run. And we're not going to run ads if we know that our client LTV sucks. We're not going to scale an offer if we know that the client delivery isn't as tight as it could be. We don't want to be reworking or rewriting a VSL if we can see that the creatives that are driving it there are shit. We don't want to be spending more on ads if we can see that all of our automations in the CRM and the setters and closers aren't performing as they should. If you get what I mean, if we're trying to grow a business and we're not fully integrated, There's so many ways that this plane could crash and burn. And this is our full offer to you. If you're currently a coach, consultant, agency owner doing at least $25,000 per month and you're ready to profitably scale without making all the mistakes, we will fully integrate as a done for you partner on the front end and back end of your offer to be profitably scaled to your goal revenue and profit numbers so you can grow further, faster, with fewer hires, fewer mistakes, lower cost per acquisition, higher client LTV, and industry leading margins, all with lower daily stress. This is not a done with you program. This is not a traditional done for you agency where we have dozens or hundreds of clients. This is not a mastermind or a coaching or consulting offer. This is literally, I'm trying to make it as clear as possible. This is me and my backend operations partner, Diego, working one-to-one with you on a partnership level to scale your business, eliminating all the bottlenecks on the front end and back end of your offer and of your business that could be holding back or limiting our growth and achieving profit at scale. This is one-to-one access of us directly inside of your business. No client success managers, no account managers, and no virtual assistants. The only thing is, and I want to make this clear, this is not fake scarcity. We can only bring on one partner per month right now to protect quality and making sure we're bringing on the right types of people. And we are only running this offer for the next few months while we add on about one partner a month for the next 4 or 5 months or so. And if that's all that you need to hear and you're ready to scale your business and you want to hop onto a call with me or Diego to really understand how this would work, just click below, fill out the application, and book in a call with me and Diego directly. You're going to be meeting with us, not a closer. But if you want to learn more, I want to tell you why I love running this offer and why I truly believe this is the single best solution for business owners stuck between $25,000 to $100,000 a month, or maybe you're even above $100,000 a month. I still think this is the best offer for you. And that's because I've been there. I've wasted so much money, so much profit growth that could have been realized, and made so many mistakes that could have been avoided at these different stages. I've spent money on the coaches and gurus. I've spent money on the masterminds. I've paid for done-for-you agencies. I've spent $25,000 on an offer, $40,000 on an offer, $30,000 on another offer, all in attempts to help me grow and scale, and yet I still made all of these mistakes. I still stayed stuck for years, and it wasn't because I wasn't implementing or doing what was required. It's just because there's so many variables to succeed in the marketplace today. And if you're currently doing at least $25,000 to $100,000 per month and you want to profitably scale, but you're just feeling stuck right now, I want you to know you're in a uniquely difficult position in today's current market if you actually want help growing your business. If you hire a coach or pay for a mastermind, I've been there where, a coach can only help you so much operationally on the front end and back end of your business. They're not going to be so in the weeds, so much in the data, understanding what's going on in your sales calls, what's going on in your CRM, your team composition, the way your offer is structured. A coach can only do so much advising specifically on scaling your business at these different stages. And hopping onto Zoom calls or group calls, or if you are paying for something where it's you and like maybe it's 15 other people or 20 other people, that coach, if they just get like 1 hour a week to tell you what to do, they're just never going to be close enough to really give you the breakthroughs and operational, systems and engineering, and actually hopping in the engine and saying, oh no, don't do this, do that. Hey, let's write these ads. Let's adjust the VSL here, landing page conversion rates. The coach is not going to be that deeply embedded in the offer. And the same thing is true of traditional agency offers out there. People offering one-off solutions of, I'll write your VSL, or I'll manage your ad account, or hey, I'll make some new creatives for you, or I'll be your video editor, or hey, we'll help you post on social media. These are all small specific bottlenecks that, you need when we're trying to fly this plane together to grow and scale the business. You can't just be integrated in one small solution. And on top of this, agencies today, depending on the model that they're running, have dozens or hundreds of clients. And they're typically offering some sort of copy and paste solution to keep their, margins efficient or whatever it may be. And once again, they are just not going to be close enough to your offer to really make the breakthroughs that are needed. And trust me, I've paid for people to write my ads. I've paid for people to rewrite my VSL, but at the end of the day, they don't know my ideal customer profile. They don't know the ads data that's been going on. They don't know what we've tested previously. and they are just trying to fulfill on, hey, we'll write this ad, and you know what I mean? They're just not going to be close enough to really get you the results that you're looking for. And conversely, you could build a big in-house team, but if you're trying to build a team and you're at $25 to $100,000 a month, you're not going to be able to recruit the A plus talent that's required to actually get you to the next level. In reality, you're going to be recruiting people that are underneath you. You're going to have to get them up to speed, and then you're still going to have to manage them, still going to have to direct them. Nobody's going to come into your business and actually, so you bring on somebody to help with marketing. Nobody's actually coming in to this type of offer at $25,000 to $100,000 a month and taking a salary that's going to be able to burst you past 200, 300, 400, or do it profitably. And same thing on the back end. If you're bringing on a client success manager, they're not going to re-engineer your entire onboarding process or client fulfillment process. Or if you have a flawed process, they're not going to come in and fix that. But if you get a back end full stack partner that actually has scaled offers past $1 million a month, they're going to know what that infrastructure is actually supposed to look like. On top of this, you're going to be, reducing your margins while increasing your workload. And these people aren't going to be making big, needle moves inside of the business. They're just going to be maintaining it. And ultimately, whether you hire a coach, pay for an agency, or start to build a team, you are going to be the bottleneck. You are still going to be the primary operator that needs to develop the knowledge, the skills, the know-how, build all the systems that's going to push you past that next level. But if you've never been to the next level, once again, you're going to be the bottleneck. There's so many mistakes that you can make if you have never, scaled past $500,000 per month. If you've never gone to 100,000, 200, 300, or even if you're like $50,000 per month, your operations might not even be ready for scale. And if you did, the solution that you might come up with might be a terrible solution that's going to keep you stuck for years. And the result of this is we hop on calls with a lot of people that have been stuck for a long time, spinning their wheels, paying for different coaching programs, trying different things, and kind of just being stuck and deciding that they're not ready to scale, or my offer doesn't work at scale, or they're just very inconsistent in their revenue because they're having to manage the front end and the back end. When you are the bottleneck and you aren't getting high-level operators inside of your business, you can just be stuck for a long time. And maybe you hit 50, 75,000, or you made it past $100,000 per month, but then things started to break. So for example, on the front end, maybe your show rates went way down. Maybe your close rates went way down. Maybe you couldn't get good setters or closers, or maybe you didn't have the right SOPs or KPIs or the sales operations management process. Maybe on the front end marketing, you weren't making the right types of content on the front end for people to consume. Maybe your ads have the wrong messaging. Maybe your VSL isn't working, your conversion rates on your funnel. Maybe the automation sequences. Maybe you're feeding back the wrong data to the pixel. There's just so many things that can break as you start to grow your business if you've never done it yourself before. And the same thing goes for the back end. If you've never scaled a back end past, multiple six figures a month or even 6 figures a month, the back end operations can break at every single stage. And if you're trying to be the one to self-diagnose and fix these problems, I see it all the time that the core operator is way too close to the engine and they've never actually gotten to these levels before. So it's nearly impossible to figure out what's actually wrong on the front end, on the back end. Maybe it's both that could be limiting your growth. And if you're trying to be the one to solve this, instead of getting a core operator to come into your business that's an A player, you could be making, once again, mistakes that keep you held back for years. And on top of this, traditional solutions for your use case of trying to scale your business profitably past $50, $100, $200, $300,000 per month, there's not many good solutions. The traditional done-for-you agencies aren't going to be close enough. The coaches coaching coaches, they're not going to be close enough to your offer. And building a team, at your stage, you're not going to be able to attract that A-plus talent that's been there, that's done that, that's able to come into the business and grow it and scale it from the front end and back end. And this is why I say that people in these different stages in our current marketplace right now are in a uniquely difficult solution. But there is an emerging solution that is starting to pop up for select business owners out there that have a proven product, a proven program, or a service. They are starting to seek out and partner with what are called performance-based growth desks, which is what we are currently operating. And growth desks are a small collection of high-level operators that have scaled businesses past $500,000 to $1 million per month profitably. They've already been in your exact situation and have already paid for all the agencies, coaches, masterminds, and tested everything out there. They've already spent the hundreds of thousands or In our case, we spent millions of dollars, on the back end, on the front end, testing, paying for different coaches, masterminds, programs, figuring out what actually works to break through these levels depending on the business style that we're running. And these growth desks only work with 5 to 10 partners total with strong performance-based incentives. So they're actually incentivized to optimize for growing the business and growing profit in the business, not just keeping a retainer or installing one system. They are incentivized to grow the business as a direct partner with you. Growth desks get deeply embedded into your business long term, work with their partners for multiple years, and help remove operational bloat and mistakes as fully done for you partners, not as coaches, not as consultants, but high-end operators working on the front end and the back end of your business. Our growth desk is what's responsible for these 3 case studies that I went through. Again, those case studies are linked below. We go over everything that was required to grow these businesses in extreme detail and what we did, how we did it, what worked, what didn't. So if you want to see those deep dives, that's either on this page or it's on our confirmation page. And who this is actually for is coaches, consultants, or agency owners that are doing already $25,000 per month. You have a proven offer that converts and gets great results for your clients. You have a sales team already, or you have closer capacity, or you're open to building a sales team. You're actively spending money on ads, or you are willing to spend money on ads in excess of $5,000, $10,000 per month and beyond. And you have the funds, the realistic funds to invest into scaling your business. And just as a prerequisite, you actually want to scale to $100,000 per month, to $200,000 per month, maybe even up to $1 million per month while protecting your profits. Because we're not trying to scale businesses and just crush revenue margins just to chase revenue for revenue's sake, but you do actually need to have that want in you to scale. This isn't for you if you're still pre-product market fit or just starting out. So you don't have case studies, you don't have results, you don't have a product that you're confident in, you don't have a way to close and fulfill on clients. You're looking for a cheap DIY solution, or you're just looking for somebody to come in, maybe adjust a few things. You're not willing to scale your business, you don't have the funds to invest, and you're not willing to give out a 5 to 10% revenue or profit share. Now, when I say the realistic funds to invest, when we're talking about actually scaling a business, we're talking about ads, we're talking about our retainer, and we're talking about the revenue or profit share. And we can get into the pricing, but it obviously scales based on where you're at in our direct involvement. And here's exactly how it works. So like I said, we stack on the front end and back end of your offer for the first 60 days to really revamp and fix everything. Days 1 to 30 is really getting in there, identifying those bottlenecks, restructuring everything, whether that's your ads, your messaging, your VSL, whatever bottlenecks exist on the front and back end, we're hopping in there and getting this business ready to scale. And then days 30 to 60, we're kind of proving out all of those systems, getting data back. And then days 60 plus, now that we've confirmed that these systems have removed the bottleneck, now it's time to start growing the business month over month over month reliably. But in the first 60 days, maybe you only need help scaling the front end. And once we start scaling the front end, then the back end becomes the bottleneck. And then we come in and start fixing the back end. So we are flexible in how we get started. But once again, I do have a full 32-minute video breakdown on what we actually do in depth, engineering and fixing the front end or the back end to help scale your offer. So at this point, if you are interested at all in getting me and my back end operations partner help in scaling your business by being a full stack front and back end partner that is going to solve all the bottlenecks in your business, once again, we can only bring on 1 new partner per month, and that is not fake scarcity. We're just trying to protect the results and protect the transformations and protect our new partners that we're bringing on. So if you're interested at all, fill out the form below and schedule in a 1-to-1 audit call. That is going to be directly with me and Diego. We're going to look over, if you have it available, all the numbers in your business, everything that you're doing, and ideally just helping you kind of workshop your business all in that call and then seeing if it makes sense for us to work together. So if you're doing at least $25,000 per month and you're interested in working with us as a long-term partner, click below, fill out the form, book in a call, and we'll talk to you soon.